Hello, hello. Welcome to another CLOG Extra. Today we're going to be talking about Common Lisp with, of course, CLOG on Microsoft's VS Code. We're going to go to the dark side, Windows. Okay, so, it doesn't have to be on Windows. This can actually be run on Mac. It can run also on Linux. Doesn't work as far as I know on Android yet, but let's see where we are now. All right, CLOG Extra. So Common Lisp CLOG and on Microsoft's VS Code. Now, basically, I'm not going to go through the process of installing everything, but we'll tell you how to do it and where to go. So, of course, boom, go to the CLOG project, right button CLOG, on GitHub, and basically go down to VS Code. Once you're there, right, we have our instructions. So you go ahead and you install on your particular system, whichever one it might be. We're going to be using, of course, a Windows machine today. And basically, you go follow the instructions that I have there for each one of the platforms, and you're ready to go. And then you go continue here with the VS Code instructions. Now, first of all, ASDF. Most systems today actually have an updated ASDF that you don't need to clone ASDF. So I wouldn't worry too much about that today unless you haven't really updated your system in a long time. And then, of course, just load that basically into your Common Lisp directory or your local projects directory, and that'll solve that problem for you. Okay, then make sure that you open up SBACL and basically make sure these packages have been loaded at least once, so they're sitting around and they're in your image. And the next thing you want to do is, of course, download and install VS Code. Okay, once you've done that, same as just plain VS Code, then you go to the marketplace using this link that I've placed here. And what that will do is that will bring you to Rich Heller's page for Alive. You go ahead, just click install, right? And the rest will be magic and taken care of. And for the most part, you're pretty much okay. You're good to go. There's some other additional instructions here if necessary, but pretty much once you open up pretty much anything, right, with a list file, it's going to go ahead, start up a REPL, and really get you going. Okay, so let's actually get started here a little bit. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so first of all, let's see, we've gone through that. Starting up VS. Oh, so now here's the thing. If you're on a Windows machine, and this is actually quite important, we need to make sure that we start right in the JIT bash terminal. And of course, you know that if you've followed my instructions for putting SBCL on Windows, you know that this basically ensures that you have all the necessary drivers, everything else you need, for everything to work perfect. Then you're fine, right? So you actually have to start VS Code in this terminal. If you're on Linux or you're on Mac, it's going to be the same. Basically, you're going to run this program code, but let's go ahead and let's open up cd clog. Oops. Okay, code period, and that's going to bring up Visual Studio for us. Or VS Code, what do they call it? Okay. And boom. So actually I had this up last time. So the base, basically you can see it looks really cool, really pretty and nice and wonderful. Of course, if we go to our files, you'll see something's been flagged, the actual file that's open and having a problem. CLOG doesn't exist. Well, it doesn't exist because we haven't loaded it into our REPL. So what we basically do is go down here, right? And we do a quick load, CLOG. Okay, gotta wait a minute till it's ready. I wish there'll be some feedback. There isn't, but that's okay. We can wait a second. And there we go, we're ready. So let's then go ahead and let's make a new project. So quick load. Yeah, actually made a mistake. I have to do quick load again because I did CLOG, but I didn't put tools in. Okay, tools. One moment again, and let's actually get started actually already. CLOG tools. And we're going to go ahead and CLOG builder. All right. So of course this is pretty cool because now, boom, there you go. See, really nice. So now let's go ahead and let's create some sort of new project or something like that, right? So there's previous projects that exist. That's just as plain Jane install of CLOG without anything else. Let's go new. Let's actually create a multi-panel, GUI type looking thing. Fill template. Let's give from, let's see, first, we'll call it. And, oh, well, first GUI, right? And there we go. And we'll put in common. I use like Common Lisp. If you local projects works also, whatever you like. Okay, load the project. And now you got to wait a bit. For some reason on Windows, ASDF is somewhat impaired. Everything takes a little bit of time. Not really quite sure why that's the case. But we just got to wait until it loads our project. It will eventually. Okay, well, now that we basically have it loaded, so you can go ahead and you can, of course, pull up a panel. A little small here, so we'll get that out of the way. Button, right, that kind of thing. You know, all the sort of things that we do all the time. You know, little thing, run your application, da da da, whatever else. Okay, fine. So, anyways, basically we're done. So let's go ahead now at this point and let's close this down. Okay, and let's go ahead and let's close VS Code also. Okay, and of course, let's go here. So if you go to our project, first GUI, now we can go first GUI, right? And all our files, of course, are there. And I can do the same code here, load it up. There are, of course, other ways and easier ways and better ways for doing everything, but this is simple to show you. And pretty much we have our whole project right here, right? So for example, let's go ahead, let's load up our panel, right? And of course our REPL is going to start up in the background. Same sort of problem, though in this case we can actually do QL quick load, right? And let's do first GUI, right? Because that's our application. And that will load it up into the GUI. Okay. There we go. Load it, and there we go. Problems disappear, and we can actually edit our code here. You know, just like any other system, anything else we've ever done. But again, it's just a really cool, neat little thing. Of course, the colors look pretty, everything, and I really do find it actually to be quite usable. I mean, the fact that I can go from file to file, and it might find or warn me about errors and stuff. I think that's all pretty cool stuff. And of course, you know, I've got all these other things, which of course, the sort of tools and stuff that that are for any other web-based application that they pretty much come with this. So I mean, it just is all kinds of really neat little tiny things. Let's call it that. But there's a couple other cool things that really are pretty much worthwhile. So one of them, for example, of course, I can still go ahead and I can use the CLOG builder once, of course, we're in here. So quick load, right, and CLOG tools, right, and I can go here and CLOG, right. Actually, probably would better to load up the first GUI tools, but that's okay. Okay, so actually, when we load a project, it's better to actually load the actual project itself with a /tools directory, so I misspelled it the first time. So first GUI /tools. Okay. And at that point, then we can go ahead, of course, and load the CLOG builder without a problem. CLOG builder. Oops. Load CLOG builder. I'm sorry, my fingers are a little buttery. There we go. Okay, so you know, like I said, we have our project there. Everything else I do it, but this, of course, the really cool part of this is not just that. Let's actually go back to our VS Code. There's a really cool here at ports, right? This is a really cool feature of VS Code, which is really nice. You can actually set up port forwarding right from here, right? And let's see, port 8080, forward a port. What happened? Oh, there it is. Okay, since if you haven't done this before, then it'll actually ask you for credentials and things like that. And actually, I can go ahead now. Boom, okay. And of course, there's not going to be anything at that point. but I slash. Oh wait, it actually would be. 1 second. No route to. Did I not start my app? Oh, I didn't start my app. That's probably why. Let's go here, run the app. There we go. Okay. So actually, if I do this now, there we go. So I can actually have my app here. All everything we're all used to, that kind of stuff, right? But anyways, what's cool that it just sets up a nice little tunnel for you to be able to do all your work and everything else, and that's all pretty cool. It's one of those little neat little features. And like I said, so basically like I said, the builder works along with Slime and Emacs, works along with Visual Code. And again, the point is to be able to offer you all the sort of tools. What's nice if you happen to be somebody who just happens to be using, VS Code for your projects, you pretty much still have access to all the system browser that's built in here. You have the ASDF system browsers that you can start basically looking at stuff. And again, it's just a really neat, cool way to be able to use CLOG along with any project whatsoever. And of course, as we saw today, just setting up real quickly a brand new project and using it with Visual Code. I hope you enjoy.